Why are we so poor? Britain used to be a relatively prosperous country, but in recent years something has gone badly wrong. Yes, we were used to being poorer than the United States. We were essentially bankrupt when we came out of World War II, and it was always going to take time to recover. But by 1990, we turned a corner and we'd almost caught up with the Americans. But in recent years, things have gone to hell. In 1990, our GDP per capita was only $3,000 less than that of the United States. By 2025, the gap was nearly $35,000. How could such a thing happen? Not only are we poorer than the United States, but we're also poorer than every American state individually. Mississippi is the poorest state in the Union, but even Mississippians are richer than the average Brit. Germany's richer than Britain. Canada's richer than Britain. Even the Australians are significantly outpacing us now. In 1990, we were richer than them. Today, their GDP per capita is $10,000 ahead of ours. This is appalling mismanagement bordering on economic ruination. And remember, Labour, the Conservatives, and the Liberal Democrats have all had a crack at this in the last 35 years. If that wasn't bad enough, the national debt is now around £2.94 trillion. Google tells me there are about 31.5 million people in the UK who are considered net tax contributors. That's about £93,000 each, if you were wondering. In the 2024-2025 financial year, the UK government borrowed £151.9 billion. This was the third highest annual borrowing figure on record, surpassed only by the global financial crisis in 2010 and the COVID-19 pandemic in 2021. We spent £106 billion on debt interest last year, and that's about to get much worse as 10-year gilts roll over. Essentially, the government was able to borrow money very cheaply 10 years ago at interest rates which are not available today, but these gilts need to be replaced as they mature. So even if we were able to balance the budget, the debt interest would still rise, and Rachel from accounts is nowhere near balancing the budget. This is a catastrophe, although you wouldn't know it by the way we're hosing money around to the Ukraine, net zero, housing illegal immigrants, foreign aid, and a million other boondoggles. So I'd suggest it's time we need to both cut spending and urgently work out how we can get much richer. And there is a way. Indeed, we have an example of it quite close to home in the form of the Republic of Ireland. In 1990, the Republic was a basket case. Their GDP per capita was only $13,600. They were poor. Today it stands at over $107,000. That's a near 8-fold increase in national wealth. So I suggest it might be wise to look at what they've done and try to emulate it. Ireland is a global hub for US tech and pharmaceutical companies such as Google and Pfizer and Apple. These firms book vast global profits through their Irish subsidiaries and benefit from a low tax rate of only 12.5% corporation tax. UK corporation tax, by contrast, is double that. Now, I'm not pretending there are no problems in Ireland. Their housing crisis is perhaps worse than ours, but they're clear proof that lower taxes mean higher tax receipts. This is hardly new information. Arthur Laffer posited the famous Laffer curve in 1974. If we're ever to get out from under this crushing debt burden, we need to cut spending and cut taxes significantly. Winston Churchill famously said, "A nation trying to tax itself into prosperity is like a man standing in a bucket and trying to lift himself up by the handle." He was right, and the business is now urgent. But please remember, the past is in our heads, but the future is in our hands. If you've made it this far, thank you. Please let me know what you think in the comments.